Handel, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Regional News. We start off with news from Jamaica, where a man who fell from the roof of a house last Wednesday in Norwood, St. James, died in the Flourmouth Hospital 2 days later. The deceased has been identified as Everton Gordon, 34, otherwise called Stammer or Eva, a construction worker who hails from Ballymore district in Manchester, but who resides in Norwood. It is alleged that Gordon fell while trying to get better reception on his cell phone after he received a call. Sometime after he went to the roof, an occupant of the house heard a crashing sound coming from the rear of the building. Upon investigating, she saw Gordon lying on the ground with a wound to his head. She raised an alarm and Gordon was rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where he was admitted in an unconscious state. He was later transferred to the Flourmouth Hospital but succumbed to his injuries last Friday. The Montego Hills police say they are still carrying out investigations into Gordon's death. We now turn our attention to the twin island of Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad has recorded its first death of COVID-19. The following is a statement issued last night by the Minister of Health, Terence D.L. Singh. And I quote, "It is with great sadness that I announce that a patient from Trinidad and Tobago who tested positive for COVID-19 unfortunately died today, Wednesday, 25th March 2020. I offer my sincere condolences to the family and loved ones of the patient. The patient was an elderly male with a pre-existing medical condition. In deference to the feelings of the family, the Ministry of Health delayed the public release of this information so that the family would have ample time to receive and process this information. I would like to thank the medical team who acted professionally and continue to provide the highest level of care to this and all other patients. I also use this opportunity to remind the public to remain calm and to diligently adhere to all the public health recommendations of the Ministry of Health relating to personal hygiene, social distancing, sanitization of frequently used surfaces, quarantine measures, and other advisories outlined by the Ministry of Health. I assure you all that together we do have the power to overcome this health challenge." Leader of the opposition Kamala Persad-Bissessar has called for a lockdown. As of Wednesday, the Twin Island had 60 recorded COVID-19 infections. And finally, the U.S. death toll for the coronavirus has hit 1,000, according to tracking by the Washington Post, a toll that is increasing at an alarming rate. New patterns have emerged in the spread of the virus, according to analysis by the Washington Post of every known U.S. death. Most who have died are older than 70, but the virus also is hospitalizing and killing younger Americans. Most victims are men, and most also had underlying health conditions. The disease has killed people in 42 states and territories and the District of Columbia, with the most deaths occurring in New York. Here are some significant developments. The confirmed coronavirus death toll in Italy rose to 8,165, the highest in the world, after officials on Thursday announced another 662 fatalities. Much of the world's population is living under some sort of pandemic-related restrictions, as the total number of coronavirus cases worldwide surged past 500,000. China will temporarily suspend foreign nationals with valid visas and residence permits from entering the country, in the latest move from Beijing to ramp up restrictions on foreigners entering the country amid of the outbreak. According to WHO Director General, and I quote, "Already we have lost more than 16,000 lives. We know we will lose more. How many more will be determined by the decision we make and the actions we take now." To slow the spread of COVID-19, many countries have introduced unprecedented measures at significant social and economic cost, closing schools and businesses, canceling sporting events, and asking people to stay home and be safe. We understand that these countries are now trying to assess when and how they will be able to ease these measures. The answer depends on what countries do while these population-wide measures are still in place. Asking people to stay home and shutting down population movement is buying time and reducing the pressure on health systems. But on their own, these measures will not extinguish pandemic, the WHO Director General noted. The point of these actions is to enable the more precise and targeted measures that are needed to stop transmission and save lives. And that's it for Regional News this evening. Back to you, Handel.